Hey guys, it's Nutcase, and in today's video, I'm taking a look at the Jelly Cup Gouache set by MIYA HIMI. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. I got this set, which is a 24 color set. As you can see here, I'm taking all of the lids off for the colors and organizing them in the colors that I'm putting them back into the bin. I actually organized them before doing this to try and get all the colors in the right order for myself, because while I'm swatching, I'm going to swatch the order of the bin that the jelly cups are held in. But one of the things I learned from watching other people's videos about this is using the lids to swatch with, because that way, you're not wasting all of that paint. Now, a lot of people just, slap them down and, smear them like that, but I wanted to make, an actual swatch page for myself, so I just took the lids and took the paint off the lids and swatched using those. Now, like most people, these are really messy. Most people I've seen review these, they talk about how hard it is to get the lids off. But one of the things I will say is they're super easy to clean off your hands. I'm a very messy painter, and a lot of times I'll get paint on my hands, be it watercolor, acrylic, gouache. I get it everywhere on my hands. And I know for a fact that it takes a while for Posca pens to come washing off. A lot of watercolors, it's very easy to come off, obviously, because they're water soluble. And these are water soluble washes, so it makes sense that they're easy to wash off, but they don't just wash off, they wash off clean, because they didn't stain my hand at all. They didn't stain the cup that I used at all, which is a first for me with gouache, so hey, that is a plus. Now, I've only used gouache a little bit, so I'm not an expert. I'm still not very good with getting even toned opacity with these, and so you're gonna see a really sped up clip after I show you the swatches here. So these are what the swatches look like once they're dry, except I think, yeah, there's a couple on that page that aren't quite dry yet, but you can see kind of the opacity, and yeah. So, I actually did two paintings to test out this set, and here is a really sped up version of the first painting where I used them at full opacity, trying to work with them in mix different colors, and it turned out okay. It definitely wasn't my best, and obviously I need to practice more, get used to mixing colors, but it just wasn't what I was looking for when it came to making a painting. And I know that these are water soluble, so what I did is I took some paints, not all of them. As you can clearly see from my palette, I don't have all of them. I have mostly the primary colors and a couple of my favorite colors from the set dried out onto a porcelain plate to use as a palette, and use them as the where you take it, you let it dry out, and then you re-wet it and use it that way. I did that because I wanted to see how it would work, and it's more of a watercolor style, but what I did in this is I did a base of the watercolor style kind of painting with the dried out gouache, and then I used the full gouache, the fresh gouache from the little jelly cups, directly on top of this to make everything that I wanted more saturated, and to add the final details and stuff. And I'm so much more happy with this method, and so I'm very glad that I did this and set aside some of the gouache to dry and paint with. Now, it's very... the gouache does break apart and stuff when it's dry, but honestly I haven't had a super big issue with it. The purple is the only one that has. All the other paints have stayed on the plate perfectly fine, so yeah, I haven't had issues with losing any parts or anything. You can actually see the chunk where the purple is out on the plate there. It's the one in the bottom. But yeah, I think that given enough time and practice, I think I could really get into using gouache like this specifically. I still don't think I'm going to want to or like the outcome of just using gouache, fresh gouache, right out of the tube or anything. It's just too intense for my painting style, I guess. But that's, that's just my painting style. But also I wanted to show that these could do that, because one of the things that I know about gouache is you have acrylic gouache, which is not water soluble, so once you let it dry, it's done. It's on there, you're not going to get it up. But with this gouache, you can like mix it and stuff with water and, like I said, let it dry and use it from there. And I'm very happy that this is like that, because this is obviously, like I said, more the style I'm going to be going for. I loved adding these little hairs. This was probably my favorite part of the painting, was just adding like the little flyaway hairs on my character. But back to the paint. The gouache set that I got, the MIYA, I don't know. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it. I paid $45 for it off of Amazon. I'll have the link down below if you guys would like to check it out. Again, I got the 24 set. They do have cheaper sets that have less colors, and so if you're more comfortable mixing colors, you could probably get away with, you know, getting a smaller set, but I'm still finding footing while mixing like that. I can do simple mixtures, but I still have issues mixing like important colors to whenever I'm painting, so someday I'll get there. I just gotta keep practicing. And the last thing I did here was add a bunch of lines and stuff to everything, and so I gave her, this was the thing that I liked also about the gouache, because obviously, like I'd said, the fresh gouache is very opaque, and so I was able to use it and add cherry blossoms to the painting and have it like in front of the character, even though there wasn't any pink left, like any room left for the character to have like the pink petals in front of them, but I could just paint it on. Now, if you've used gouache, you're obviously used to this, or even Posca pens or acrylic, but for somebody like me who's more used to watercolors and stuff, like, that's not how you do it. Like, you'd have to mask off that area to do it, so it's just a nice, like, a nicety to have for when doing these. Also, you'll see that I have to, like, clear out the pen every once in a while. If I had let the painting dry a little more, it probably would have done fine for this, and I say that because I've tested it since then, but it's because I just let it dry like for an hour or so and not like overnight or something. I had to leave the plate of watercolors out for like 3 or 4 days, and first I put them in the fridge to kind of like get them hard like that, and then I left them out to dry. So it takes a while for the gouache to like dry out. So don't worry about the like lid and stuff. It's kept it all wet since I've gotten it. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this painting demonstration review kind of thing, showing how you can use these watercolors, these gouaches. Yeah, and I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to afford to get these art supplies and do videos about them. So yeah, if you'd like to check out my Patreon, I will have it linked here in the end card, so you can just click on that and check it out. Support for $1 a month, and you get access to my Discord, my Telegram, everything like that, and I have a bunch of other tiers that you can see over there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!